Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to this Friday, March 15th edition of Guadalupe Valley Views. I'm Megan Barthels at Norma's house in Gonzales, where we're joined today by Deanie Novosad. Deanie, thanks for letting me come by and visit with you this afternoon.
Thank you for having me.
Tell me your exact title here.
I am the Executive Director of Norma's house.
Let's talk about your board a little bit.
Right. We do have a board that kind of governs and directs gives the direction of what Norma's house should do. They're a great asset for us. They are really helpful with our fundraisers and just kind of some of our day-to-day operations at Norma's house.
What is Norma's house?
Norma's house is a children's advocacy center. There are 71 in the state of Texas, and so we are one of those 71. We have a governing agency in Austin called CAC Texas. But what we do is we work really closely with law enforcement, Children's Protective Services, the prosecuting attorney's offices on cases of child abuse or crimes against children.
How long has Norma's house been around?
The idea first came about in 1997, so more than 20 years. And it took a couple of years to get it up and running, but around 1999 is when we first opened our doors and started treating children.
If someone who needs Norma's house, who are those people that would need your assistance?
So we mainly work with children who have been alleged to be a victim of abuse or neglect. And we don't necessarily take people off the street. They have to go through one of our partner agencies, such as the police department or the sheriff's office, CPS, and they will contact us and let us know that they have a child in need that could benefit from our services. So we would bring them in at that point, along with our partner agency. And we provide forensic interviews of children. And the goal of that is that a child doesn't have to keep telling what happened to them. They can tell it to us at Norma's house, and we share the information with the partner agencies. And so that way the child doesn't have to relive it over and over again. And so we provide the forensic interviews. We provide counseling for children who have been victimized and their supportive family members. So like a parent or a caregiver, siblings that might also need counseling. And we provide medical exams when necessary and treatment. And we also have a family advocate that works with the family and does some case management services from like date of referral, date of outcry, all the way through the criminal case.
Norma's house expanded your services to include not only Gonzales County, but you also added Lavaca County just a few years ago. Tell me about the expansion of it.
When we first started, we were Gonzales' Children's Advocacy Center, but we found that a lot of our surrounding counties could benefit from our services, with Lavaca County being one of them. So for several years, we provided services to our surrounding counties, but just didn't include them officially. Mm-hmm. And then back in 2013, we officially included Lavaca County. And so whatever we do for Gonzales County children and their families, we do for Lavaca County children and their families as well.
You know, we wish essentially that we didn't have a need for this, but because unfortunately that we do, y'all are here. And have you had some of the youth that, say in the late 90s, early 2000s, come back to you and you'd make that difference in their lives?
We have, and that's one of the very rewarding parts of this job. We have had several youth come back who are now older or maybe even young adults and tell us what a difference we made for them. And that this is a hard job. It's a terrible job to have, but we do have some very rewarding points to it.
And that's what I'll share this with you folks listening to the show today, because like I told Deanie, I said, I'm not going to come in here and ask the hard-hitting and personal questions, but just to kind of paint a general overall picture. Because even to this day, some 20 years later, there's still members of the community that aren't aware of Norma's house, but maybe have heard of it, but don't know really what Norma's house is about. In addition to that, don't realize why Norma's house is here. Sure. And without getting into too much detail, can we talk about the number of cases?
In our last fiscal year, so that would be 2018, we served over 329 children. And what that means is they came in for services first time that we ever saw them. We have several children that we see ongoingly for counseling, or maybe they've come back for a second and third time, but we saw 329 children last year for the first time.
Are there any additional programs and services that you provide here with Norma's house?
Yes, we do. We do outreach programs for the community. We will go into the schools and do programs on how to be safe or how to stay safe or what to do if something has happened. We do programs for adults on keeping your own children safe. We do programs on internet safety, things to that sort. And always are open for any club or organization as well. So we would welcome any calls or requests for outreach programs.
How is Norma's House funded?
We are funded by fundraisers, such as the bingo event, as well as grants, individual donors, and fundraising. And with the grants that we get specifically, we have to have what they call a cash match. So that's where our fundraisers come into play.
So one of these important fundraisers is the bingo bags and badges, and I know that a couple of years you've alternated between having the event at this year to be at the Gonzales Expo Center out at J.B. Wells Park, and last year was in Shiner. Mm-hmm. How many years have you been doing this particular fundraiser?
This particular fundraiser, we've been doing it 6 years, and we started, the very first one was at Victoria College, but we have grown so much every year, and it is such a fun time that we get lots of people to attend.
Are we close to selling out so far?
We are close. Okay. We are going to stop selling tables at 50, and we're already at 44.
All right, so you got just a little time left here. It's Norma's House Bingo Bags and Badges fundraiser. That's coming up on Friday the 22nd from 6 until 9 o'clock. Let's walk me through the evening of this event.
Yeah, it's a great time. We will open the doors at 5:30, so anyone that has a ticket is welcome to come at 5:30. And the tickets in advance are $40. We will have a few tickets at the door that night, and they will be $50. We also have just a few more tables left, and those are $450 for a table of 8. We start out with introductions, do a few door prizes. We will have raffles. We have a silent auction, and then we have 20 plus games of bingo. And the prizes are designer handbags that are really popular right now.
Tell me about the folks that are presenting these bags.
We have a great community that help with us at Norma's House, and every one of our bags, our purses, are donated by someone in the community, either an organization, a business, or an individual. And they also have donated the things for our silent auction. HEB has donated the money for our snacks and our food, and it's great. It's not a real big expense for Norma's House because of the support of the community.
What about your models?
Our models are awesome. Our models are local first responders. So we have this year we will have some from the Gonzales Police Department, the Gonzales Sheriff's Office, and the Fire Department. And they are great. They really put on a good show for the attendees.
You have to be 18 or up to attend.
That's correct.
All right. And you said the tickets are available? You
can get them pre-sale right now at Norma's House or from any board member. Or you can go online to www.normashouse.net and buy them online. We will probably keep them online till about the middle of next week, and then we'll take them down just because of trying to get them the ticket in time.
What are some of the other events and fundraisers that you have throughout the year?
Right now, the Bingo Bags and Badges is our major fundraiser. We do one in Gonzales and one in Lavaca County, and they've been so much fun and such a success. We haven't had to do many more fundraisers. We will have a T-shirt sale for April. April is Child Abuse Prevention Month, so we will be selling T-shirts. If anybody's interested, they're $12 for child abuse prevention. And
that's here at the Norma's House headquarters?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else before I let you get back to work that you'd like to add?
I just appreciate you being able to share this information with the community, and we would be happy to explain to anyone else what Norma's House does and why we are so important in the community.
And you mentioned the website. I'm sure that there's a lot of information on there that's helpful for questions. And
that's correct. If you didn't hear something you needed to know today, it is on the website.
Again, give me that website and your telephone number if you don't mind.
The website is www.normashouse.net, and our telephone number is 830-672-1278.
Deanie Novas, thank you very much for allowing me to come in and take the tour and talk about Norma's House and the upcoming Bingo Bags and Badges fundraiser today.
Great. Thank you, Egan.
On the Sosa and Tex Weather Center with a look at your weekend weather forecast, here's meteorologist Bill Heckey.
Weather Will says we'll be looking at numbers that are in the 40s down and 50s up, and we'll do that until we get into the weekend, and then by Sunday we'll be back in the 60s, but the overnight low still in the 40s. So we'll have some cool nights to go. By next Tuesday, we're back talking 70s, and it looks to me like we might have a frontal boundary that would be able to drop through the area, and right now I would say that would be about next Wednesday or Wednesday night. That would give us some cool air, and then a low pressure area coming in from the west might be able to give us some pretty good precipitation with an overrun pattern at the end of next week. But until then, it's the cool nights in the 40s and the daytime highs that are going to be in the 50s and moving into the 60s as we move through the end of the weekend. From the Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Bill Hecht.
Many Texans are enjoying spring break this week, so if you plan on heading down to the Gulf Coast this afternoon or know someone who is, you may let them know that there is a coastal flood advisory in effect until 6 o'clock this evening, and there's a moderate risk of dangerous rip currents today. Elevated swells with long periods will impact the Middle Texas coast this afternoon. Tides already running 1.25 feet above expected early this morning. Tidal levels are expected to reach 2 feet median sea level during times of high tide this afternoon. In addition to the coastal flooding, there will be a moderate risk of dangerous rip currents along Gulf-facing beaches today. So again, we can expect that minor coastal flooding expected along area beaches and with noticeable rises along beaches within the bays. Water may reach the dunes during high tides. Driving along area beaches will be limited to impassable. High tides 2:04 p.m. this afternoon at Bob Hall Pier, 4:51 p.m. this afternoon at Port Aransas. Also, strong rip currents are expected along Gulf-facing beaches, especially around the piers and jetties. Rip currents can become life-threatening to anyone entering the surf. Swim near lifeguard when possible. Additional information may be found on the National Weather Service Corpus Christi Marine website at www.weather.gov/CRP/marine. On the SoSynTech Sports schedule, powered by ScoreStream. In boys varsity soccer next Friday at 7:15, San Marcos Rattlers at New Braunfels Canyon. In girls varsity soccer next Friday at 7:15, New Braunfels Canyon at San Marcos. In girls varsity softball on Tuesday the 26th at 7 o'clock, New Braunfels Canyon at San Marcos Rattlers. On the SoSynTech bulletin board, the Shiner Chamber of Commerce presents the Shiner Citywide Garage Sale. That is underway today and tomorrow, and maps are available at the Shiner Chamber of Commerce office on Avenue E. The 23rd Annual Children's Hospital Trail Ride Barbecue Cook-Off is set for today and tomorrow in Sestahowa at Sestahowa Hall at 180 Cannon Road 245. Tonight, Cook's Choice entry fee is $25. Payout will be based on the number of entries. Entry fee for the Saturday event is $200. Jackpot's $25. Categories include brisket, chicken, pork spare ribs, chili, and beans. New this year's a Kids Cook Contest. Tomorrow, entry fee is $20. They'll also have a live and silent auction. For information, call 210-365-4058. Leave the cooking to members of the American Legion Post 539 as they host a fish fry today at the St. Hedwig American Legion Hall, 14290 FM 1346. Plates will be sold starting this evening at 6 o'clock until they're sold out. Plates include fish, beans, coleslaw, french fries, and hush puppies for $10 each. Desserts will be available as well for donation. For information, call 210-296-1990. Also in St. Hedwig, the American Legion Post 539 will open its doors to the public today through Sunday to commemorate the Legion's 100-year anniversary with its Centennial Museum. Community members are invited to browse through its museum of memorabilia and learn about the Legion's history. Additionally, cookbooks and Fiesta medals will be on sale for $10 each. Doors open this evening at 5 o'clock, tomorrow from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., and 1 to 5 Sunday. The Post is located at 14290 FM 1346 in St. Hedwig. Coming up tomorrow, Saturday, March 16th, the Gonzales VFW Post 4817 Auxiliary Annual Scholarship Cook-Off will be held at the Gonzales VFW Post 4817 on the Harwood Road. Cook-Off categories are brisket, ribs, chicken, chili, and showmanship. Plaques will be only awarded to first, second, and third place winners. Each entry is $15. If you're entered by today, entries paid the day of the cook-off will be $20 per entry, no charge for entering showmanship. Other competitions at the cook-off include Bloody Mary, salsa, and margarita. Those competitions will be $10 per entry, with cash prizes to be given for first place in each of these entries. Must be 21 to enter. They'll be marking off spots for cooking teens and RVs today, and RVs will be allowed to set up today. So if spots are first come, first serve, and if proceeds benefit local scholarships. For information, you can call Dorothy